Hi everyone, Hi and Healthy Living. We're coming to you from New Zealand. How awesome is this? You know, with this business, is what happens is that we travel the world and we meet so many amazing people. And today, one of our ladies on Healthy Living has lost 54 kilos. That's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing.
It's amazing. How has that changed your life?
Oh, it's changed my life in so many ways. Obviously, the weight itself, the shape change, what it has done for me and my family. I'm active, I'm out doing outdoor activities again. And the influence of losing the weight on everyone around me and all the people that have joined the program because of what I've done myself, and getting that chance to inspire family members and friends that need to get on the same journey. It's been amazing. Yeah.
So what was your start weight?
127.2 kilos.
127.2 kilos. For those that don't know this lady here, this is the beautiful Sarah Field. And Sarah Field lives, where do you live?
Palmerston North in New Zealand.
Palmerston North, New Zealand. That's a pretty part of the world, isn't it?
It is.
It is. It's a beautiful part. But also in New Zealand, it's really cool to eat lots of food, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And what was one of your downfalls?
For me, it was probably the cycle of emotional eating.
Yep.
I ate when I was happy, I ate when I was sad, I ate to reward myself, and that had been a cycle since I was young, really.
Yeah. And what was one of the key things that you loved to eat?
Chocolate.
Chocolate?
Yeah, probably chocolate, sweets, carbs, all the things that are bad for me.
Yeah, chocolate's one of those things, isn't it? You know, you go and buy a chocolate when you're happy, and you go and buy a chocolate when you're sad. And I always go and buy a chocolate when I'm sad, because that always reminds me of my dad. It's a specific chocolate, and I go, oh, my dad's so at least a bit closer to me when I'm feeling a bit sad, so I go and buy this blooming chocolate. But it's not really the coolest thing to do, is it? But it's the habits that we get into. So your life has changed huge amounts over the weight loss journey, but one of the reasons that you wanted to lose the weight was because you wanted to start a family.
Yep.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And so starting a family for you is difficult.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know it was going to be difficult at the time. I had married my husband, and we obviously starting the journey to start a family, and I needed to get fit. I needed to get healthy. For me, but also for this journey that I was about to start on. So I started on the FAT program, and at that stage we were just trying to have a baby naturally. Yeah. And as the months went by, I kept losing the weight, which was great, but the baby side wasn't happening. So we went to see a fertility specialist, and were basically told that was, unfortunately for us, the journey we were going to have to take. I'm 39 years old, my husband's 40, so that was the journey that we started. And I was saying to Terri earlier, the coolest thing is when we went for the appointment with the specialist in New Zealand, you can get public funding for IVF, and there's lots of criteria, but one of the criteria is to have a BMI under 32. Because of the previous 2 rounds of FAT I'd done, I was under the BMI for public funding, which was a huge blessing for us, which just meant that we could continue down that road of having funded IVF treatment.
Yeah.
So I was getting my body healthier for me, but also to have a baby, and here I was all of a sudden being able to access public funding. So we went on the wait list, and I continued on the program. And I've now done 4 rounds of the program, 54 kilos. No success yet on the baby making front, but we're trying. And we've got this opportunity that's given to us.
Absolutely. So you've got an opportunity here, not only to increase your health, and then to have a baby, but you've also got this beautiful opportunity then to share this story about lowering your BMI. So you know how now, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you see lots of people out there in your world that are struggling with this BMI, because we know when you go out and you hang out with your friends, you generally hang out with people that have got the same story. Mm-hmm. And I know that when I hang out with friends that, they've all got the same story as I do, and you've got probably lots of people in your world that are trying to have a baby.
Yeah, well, I belong to some fertility groups, and it breaks my heart because I see all these women talking about not being able to have access to public funding because of their BMI, and I just want to share the fat word with them because, you know, it's changed my world, and I want to be able to change theirs, but it's not the done thing necessarily.
Not in the other groups.
Not in the other groups to talk about weight loss programs, etc.
Yeah.
But, you know, it just could change all their lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you know, we've got 114,000 people here in Healthy Living today, and I'm sure that there are many of you out there that are trying to have a baby, and you too have this issue of lowering your BMI, and because you're also wanting to have a baby. And, you know, a lady here, Sarah Field, has done this. She's actually changed her life, lowered her BMI so that this little baby can come forward. You know, every one of you can change your life. Every one of you has the opportunity of knowing how. You've learned a lot about your life, you've learned a lot about your body, and you've learned how to do this now, haven't you?
Absolutely. And like for me, I'd yo-yo dieted for years, every program under the sun. I'd do it really successfully, I'd lose the weight, but I'd put it all back on. I've been maintaining my loss for 7 months now, and that's been during this IVF journey. So we've had ups and downs, we've had 2 unsuccessful rounds so far, and rather than going back into the emotional eating, which is what I did in the past, I'd move on, we'd start clean eating again, because you fluctuate with the IVF drugs, which is horrible. I'd put on 8 kilos just from an IVF round, from the drugs, and then I was straight back onto clean eating once it was unsuccessful, and I'd be back to where I was. And, you know, for me, that's massive, because my thing has always been lose the weight, put it back on. So to be able to maintain for 7 months and during this stressful, you know, trying time, it's amazing. And for that reason, I'm totally fatty for life. You know, like that's just gonna, it's who I am now. Sarah
learnt how to live for the rest of her life now, and you too can. You can too. You know, you've just got to go and find your mentor. Go and ask the questions. Ask someone how to do this program, because you too can change your life. And if you're sitting there looking to have a baby through an IVF program, make sure your BMI is low. Make sure it's what you need it to be, so that your body can have the best opportunity of making a new life. We thank you very much for listening to us. We're sending you our love from New Zealand. We'll speak to you all soon.
See ya.